Eva, a lot of companies need audits, and there's a lot of companies out there to help with audits. And everyone seems to have their own take on how to help with an audit. But you have a very unique take, Thoropass, that you call it the Oro way. I want to know what your unique take is, and why do you think it works so much better?
We're combining compliance automation and an integrated audit experience into one closed loop. What that means is, in comparison to some of our competitors and some other compliance automation platforms that provide a customer with compliance automation, readiness, and then a series of audit partners that they can work with. We find that there's a lot of friction in all of these processes because every single auditor has a requirement to have their own audit methodology, their own approach, and that creates friction in the whole process. And we eliminate that friction by having our auditors work directly with our customers to scope the audits properly, and then to ensure that all of the scoping, all of the automation is effectively audit ready. Evidence is collected, and because the auditors have approved the scope and the automation, it actually goes through and simplifies the audit experience.
Can you explain to me how this automation works? And feel free to use an example and give detail here.
We integrate with all of the tools that our customers use to manage their compliance programs or to do their business.
This is something we hear all the time. One of the reasons a company doesn't do well is because they don't realize that the company they're trying to work with already has a bunch of products in place, and it should work with the products that are in place already. So I'm thrilled that you have that. Go on.
And what's different about our process is because we have the Oro way and our auditors are involved upfront to ensure that the audit scope is properly defined and all of the rules or the compliance requirements are properly scoped to the proper systems. That is done upfront so that when a company is monitoring through the automation whether or not the rules are being met, that evidence, because the integration is auditor approved, actually serves as evidence seamlessly to the auditor. The auditors actually approve for completeness, for accuracy, and for integrity. And so because they are upfront, where we know that the integration has this completeness and accuracy check, it is then seamlessly pushed through to the auditor.
Can you give me an idea of what your customers have said their life before using Thoropass and the Oro way and now what it's like?
They see a ton of efficiency. They see that the quality of the report actually improves dramatically as well. They're freeing up their teams to do what they do best in building their products and building their businesses versus worrying about collecting evidence and worrying about surprises at some point in the audit process that could delay ultimately their report.
That is awesome. Well, thank you very much, Eva. If you would like to know how you can sort of simplify and automate and reduce a lot of the errors using the Oro way from Thoropass, go check out their website. It's thoropass.com. It's right there.